Welcome to your study guide for Module 4. We're going to cover exactly what you need to know about Excel and multimedia to really succeed in your exam. We've broken this session down into 5 key parts to help you get a solid grip on the material. So let's jump right in. So this module really boils down to 2 main topics that are crucial for your exam. You've got the hands-on skills of advanced Excel and then the core ideas behind multimedia. Okay, first up, let's tackle Excel. We're going to start by clearing up 2 words that people often mix up, but are absolutely critical for your multiple choice questions: formulas and functions. Okay, let's get this straight. A formula is basically any math problem you write yourself, and it always starts with an equal sign, like equals A1 plus B1. A function, though, is a shortcut that Excel already built for you, like equals sum open parentheses. Now, here's your big MCQ alert. All functions are technically formulas, but not every single formula is a function. This difference is a classic exam question, so make sure you remember it. These are some of the most common functions you've got to know: sum, average, min, and max. They're pretty clear. The if function, that's like a simple decision maker. If this is true, do one thing. If it's false, do something else. And you'll want to pay special attention to the count function. It just counts how many cells have something in them. That's it. It doesn't actually do any math on the values inside those cells. Now, what's really interesting here are the operators. Here's another MCQ alert for you. On your exam, you have to remember that multiplication uses an asterisk, not an X. It seems small, but it's an easy way to get a question wrong. And speaking of the count function again, remember it only counts how many cells are being used. It doesn't perform any math on what's inside them. All right, let's test your understanding with an exam-style question. A function inside another function, what do we call that? Is it an inner, progress, round, or nested function? So, the key takeaway here is that the correct answer is D, nested. That's the official term Excel uses, and it's the one you need to know for the test. The other choices are just there to confuse you. Inner and progress aren't real Excel terms, and round is just a different, specific function. Here's another typical question that's all about knowing specific function names. Which one would you use to get the current date and time into a cell? The correct answer is C, equals now. This function gives you both the date and the time. Now let's look at why the others are wrong. First, equals current time just isn't a real Excel function. Equals time is for creating a specific time value from numbers you give it. And here's the most common trap. Equals today only gives you the current date, not the time. That little difference is super important to remember for your exam. Okay, let's shift gears now. We've covered Excel, so let's move on to the second part of our module, understanding multimedia. So what is multimedia? In really simple terms, it's just combining many different types of media, like text, pictures, audio, and video, to share information. This comparison is super important. Here's a huge MCQ alert. Your exam will almost definitely ask about the difference between bitmap and vector graphics. Just remember this. A bitmap is like a photo. You can't really edit it, and the file size is large. A vector, on the other hand, is like a drawing. You can edit it, and the file size is small. Photo versus drawing. That's all you need to remember. Now let's take a look at where these multimedia components are actually used in our everyday lives. As you can see, multimedia is literally everywhere. It's used in business to make work more efficient, and in hospitals to improve healthcare and education. It's all around us. Let's practice with a question that pulls directly from that comparison slide we just saw. Which of these is true for bitmap images? And this is a perfect example of why knowing that comparison is so important for avoiding traps on your exam. The correct answer is D. Options A, B, and C are all true for vector graphics, not bitmap images. See how they try to trick you? We've covered a lot, so let's finish up with a quick review of the most important facts that are very, very likely to show up on your exam. Okay, for Excel, these are the absolute must-knows. A formula starts with an equal sign. A function is a shortcut. The things inside the parentheses are separated by commas. The count function only counts cells, and a function inside another is nested. And for multimedia, here are the critical points. Know the 5 components. Remember, bitmap is like a photo, vector is like a drawing, analog audio is just the original sound signal, and animation is just a bunch of still pictures moving fast. Getting these down will really give you an edge. This wraps up our study guide. By focusing on these key differences and the potential exam traps we talked about, you are definitely much better prepared for your test. Good luck!